ones that y'all don't want to see sometimes, the ones don't nobody want to work with. I'm the guy. I got to do that for the rest of my life. You know why? Because God gave me another chance to get it right. Question. Is revealing what you see talent or your civic duty? Is it? Ask yourself that question. Because it's amazing how when we do, we do our little wrong, we don't want nobody to see us, we don't want nobody to talk about it. But when something affects us directly, you want to know. You want somebody to tell you something. Correct?
Yep.
So we need to do our civic duties, and that's to take our communities back. Next slide. Your responsibility in your communities. Be a positive role model. Set the right example for your children, like the young man said. You can't tell your kids, don't lie, and whoop them for lying, and then you turn around, they hear you telling a lie. Seriously now. I'm just saying. Always know where your children are. Mine? Oh, I want to know where your friends is, where you going, what time you coming back. My son, 20 years old, guess what? He know I don't play the radio. I call him. He called me in a day or two. I be like, Negro, what's your problem? Why you ain't called me and checked in with me and let me know what's going on with you? Do I have to come over there? But the benefit, me going to prison was a gift and a curse. It was a curse because I was separated from my son for 11 and a half years. He was 3.5 years old when I went in. He was 15 when I got out. But I made him come and see me when I was in prison. I wanted him to hate hearing them doors closed. I wanted him to hate making that trip. I wanted him to hate leaving me every visit. Ain't got no problems out of dude. He ain't trying to go nowhere. Where they try to talk about some fighting, shooting, anything. He ain't going nowhere near that. You know why? Because he know he can't call me. What? Man, I don't know. I can't call my dad and tell him to come and get me out of jail. So, we got to set standards. Encouraging children to participate in politics school. You ain't got to encourage them. They ain't got no options. Now, you going over there. Yeah. You ain't paying the mortgage, you ain't paying the car note, car insurance, power bill, water bill, internet bill they use more than we do. Phone bill. No, you going, partner. I'm telling you. Y'all got to stop being friends with your kids. Start being, for real. I'm just saying. Spend quality time with your children and teach them how to be responsible and productive citizens. And it start with making them take out the trash, wash the dishes, make up the bed. See, because if you don't start growing your kids to do things, then they're not going to be responsible. So you got to start teaching. What you're doing is get them in the habit of working. Now, I'm not paying you nothing, though. I might give you an allowance. But just the fact that I'm being a provider is your payment. Stop trying to spoil them and buy them all that stuff, and they haven't earned it. Seriously. I work with kids, man, and it blows me. I have a whole different respect for school teachers now, I promise you. I probably lost my job the first day I went in. Because when I went into schools, and I seen how some of these kids, some of y'all children, talk to them teachers. Jesus. Help the child develop good conflict resolution skills. I'm just saying. Get involved in your community. No, yeah, I said that part already. You got to know who your neighbors are. 10 community functions. You got to establish, you got to get tough skin and develop partnerships with your law enforcement agencies. I can't be any realer than that. Regardless of what you think or what you heard in the media, you got to start developing relationships with law enforcement. That's what they're there for. They're willing to come into your community house association, they do a presentation, show you how to start a neighborhood watch. What are you willing to do? What are you going to do? That's the question. If you suspect your child involved in the gang, searches, go through their stuff. How you go? Oh my God. Oh my God. I had a parent tell me, my son is 19. 19. Staying in her house. And she talking about, I don't know how to give him a curfew. Do we got a job? Is he paying any bills in here? What? Okay, that's all I'm sorry. Okay. Get in your kids' business. Go through that stuff. How you gonna lock the door in my... Take it off the hinges, please. I wish you would lock the door in my house. Sorry. I'm telling you, it's coming off the hinges. Sorry. Ain't no doors being locked around here, Piper. Okay? I got 2 little girls, 6 and 3. They getting it right now. Because guess what? If he don't walk and talk like daddy, that's not the guy for you. I tell him every day, you're beautiful. You're pretty. So guess what? When they get 14, 15 years old, they, I know the guys gonna be judging them before they do, but they ain't gonna be able to say, you pretty. They gonna say, Doc, my dad been telling me that all my life. You need to come with something a little better than that, playboy. If your child's gang involvement is confirmed, get some help. You got me. You got police. You got all these different people that can help you figure out what you're going to do about your child, particularly if your child is telling you they're in fear for their lives and they want to get out. Okay? Contact law enforcement. Support and stand firm on the prosecution of violent offenders. In a nutshell, April 28, 2006, Georgia legislation passes a gang law called the Georgia Street Gang Terrorism Prevention Act. If 3 or more young people have been identified as gang members, hand signs, symbols, tattoos, graffiti, and they commit a crime, they will do a mandatory 5 years in prison just for that crime. So you need to educate your children. You need to educate yourselves about the laws. Seriously. I work in Douglas County, in Cobb, and they ain't playing with them kids out there when they get locked up for that charge. They ride them out. And it's, and it's sad, because they really don't understand what they're getting into. And they don't understand the consequences behind what they've gotten themselves into. This guy, what's it, Tom J. Morgan? J. Tom Morgan, he wrote a book called Ignorance is what? Is no defense. If you have children, get the book. I'm just telling you because it's so enlightening, because a lot of, you as a parent might not know that if your kids commit certain crimes, that they can be locked up for it. And your children need to know the same thing. Before I go, I got two individuals that I want y'all to know that we in partnership together. Remember their faces as well, because they do the same work I do, and they're out here in the county as well. So utilize them, and they have a background like mine. At the end of the day, you're going to need guys like us to communicate with guys like them, to help them change the way they think. Because it's a mentality that they have to be deprogrammed from. So Collins Benefield and Todd Slants, come up here. I just want you to, these are great guys. They're just going to take about 2 minutes to tell you about themselves and what they do. And I have so much respect for these guys. And they have the same passion that I have for doing this work.
Real brief, I want to say good afternoon to everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for your time. I agree wholeheartedly with Brother Arthur Powell saying, background just like that. And just for a brief second, I attend Family Life Missionary Baptist Church. There are a whole arsenal of programs that reach out towards the youth. It's right there on Morrow. We have a program that's geared for the entire family. That's why it's named Family Life. See, everything starts at home, which a lot of you know. So all those things being said, that's not just something to be said and it's by coincidence. It starts at home. It starts with the mother. It starts with the father. It goes down to the children. And a lot of things that's happening with youth today, they're reaping some stuff that the parents have planted a long time ago. So we have a ministry where we reach out to the entire family. We do things such as boy talks. We do things as girl talks. We call them Just Boys and Glad Girls. We have a ministry for single people. We have a ministry for married people. We have a ministry for women. We have a ministry for men. Why? Because it takes all of that to bring closure to what's going on. Okay? So what we do is we bring the entire family in. We teach character education and character building. And once you are able to work on your character, you can be a difference in the community. But if you have no good character, guess what? You're going to have no difference in the community. And what we strive for is results, and that's what we get. And the only way we're going to get that is if the entire family changes what they do at home. Then that way they can be an effective family in the community. So I want to just throw this phone number out there to you. You can take it down, 678-422-3227. Again, that's 678-422-3227. And the name of it is Family Life Missionary Baptist Church. I guarantee you we have a program that will change everything that's taking place right now. And it doesn't matter what it is. There's nothing too big for God to solve. See, that's what you got to remember now. This is a faith-based thing. So when we put it back in God's hand, it's up to you. Whose report will you believe? We're going to believe the report of the Lord. Amen? Amen.
How y'all doing this evening? My name is Carlos Benefield. I'm originally from Chicago. I was born into a gang. Basically, my father was a gang member, and my mother was a Chicago police officer. Now, go figure. When I got locked up, I seen my mama walk past. You think I'm going to sit in the jail and say, hey, mama, them cats in the back going to beat me. They're going to think I'm a trick. So, being in the community where I'm from, I destroyed it. I destroyed many communities. So now, as an adult, I feel I got to build communities back up. I got to help these kids. I know how it is to be in a gang. I used to be an insane vice lord.